Let's set the scene. It's 1915, the Great War is headline news. It's the Brexit of the 1900s, it's all anyone can talk about. The Germans, they're throwing high explosive bombs and killing people. The last thing you need is for your boss to be late too. But 17,000 men have been deployed to the army to help fight. That means the underground, bus and trams have less staff. Amidst all this, a lady called Mrs. Duncan, she's not happy about it. She's annoyed that she's late for the school run because the bus service is literally cutting off at this point. There's a solution. Let women work on the buses. Let the incapable women be capable. Females were only allowed to become bus conductors during the Great War. And back then, they were known as clippies because the role was clipping people's tickets. Obviously, a task too demanding for a woman. Women who've been holding things together for centuries can keep a house, produce a whole human, but God forbid someone lets us stand on a bus and clip a piece of paper, especially during the Great War, a world war. Bombs, explosions, limbs flying everywhere. That's worse than a night bus from central London. So, Mrs. Duncan, being the woman that she is, and I've decided she's an absolute boss, she decides she's going to put herself forward for the job. Was it a wild decision? Was she bold? Did she come across as crazy? Of course she did, but did she care? No. She's a boss, remember? Mrs. G. Duncan is how she was reported in the articles. I searched and searched for what the G stood for, but alas, nothing. Indicative of the times, really. She was a woman. Her name wasn't important. But for the purposes of this, I'm going to call her Gangster Duncan, because only a real boss can do what she did, not only for herself, but for the future of women in the travel industry. Because of her resilience and tenacity, she paved the way for more women to be hired in this field. 4,600 women went on to become clippies during the Great War, only because Mrs. Duncan is a gangster. During the Second World War, even more women were employed, and then it became more of a regular sight. Women of all races, cultures and backgrounds were taking fares on buses across the capital. Cut to 1974, a young Giovanna hopping on and off of buses. She sees these wonderful women clippies and enjoying the slight equality. And a light bulb goes up in her head. She said, I don't want to take fares. I want to operate the whole vehicle. Just goes to show, women, we've always had big energy. We're just waiting for the space to flex it. Now, in 2021, Gangster Duncan, she lives on in many of us. There's a plethora of women at the highest levels in the travel industry, helping make decisions and generally keeping things ticking over. Much more than just clipping tickets. I know, when a woman is in charge of the trains, it feels like those rare moments when they're actually on time.